Good morning. This is a wonderful historical day. And I want to take a moment here and say thank you to the Chancellor Jack Scott, to the Board of Governors, to the Vice Chancellors, Linda Mikowski, and to FACT, Jonathan Lightman and Sylvia Flores, and to all those, even the students, to help make this Veterans Program that we've been working on for 3 years happen today. And thank you all for coming, because it's very, very historic. And I just want to say thank you to all of you for making it happen. I really deeply appreciate for all the veterans. Okay, thank you. I have an honor and privilege to introduce this morning our welcome speech from Major General Peter Gravett. Now, actually, he's the California Secretary for Veterans Affairs. If you go to page 8, you look in the book, and it gives you all his big bio. He's already given me instructions. Don't read it, okay? Don't read it. You know, you got to follow your last order first. So I did. But there's three things, or a couple things you need to know about the Major General. Number one, he's one of us. He went to community colleges. He went to LA Harbor and then transferred over to become a Viking, went over to Long Beach City College, okay? Number two, he's history. He's the first African-American general to ever be in charge of a National Guard unit in the United States of America. And we've also known each other for a long time because we're both part of the 9th and 10th Horse Cavalry Association, which is the Buffalo Soldiers. So without further ado, I give you a good friend, a veteran, and a true patriot, our California Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Major General Peter Gravett.
Well, Bobby followed instructions very well. Thank you very much. My honor to be here this morning. I won't take long, but I have a few remarks. Dr. Scott, should I say Senator Scott, or Chancellor Scott, or Mr. Scott, thank you for inviting me here. It's nice seeing you again, and to the members of the board and to all of you here this morning. This is a great day for veterans in California, and I'm glad to be part of it, a small part of it, to be here at this auspicious occasion. I've been the Secretary of Veterans Affairs about 5 months now, and when Governor Brown appointed me, and I did not apply for the position. I've been working on behalf of veterans for a lot of years, and I guess someone recognized the work that I had done, and he asked me to serve. And he challenged me with two things. He says, number one, he said, I want you to ensure that the veterans in California are the best cared for veterans in the nation. And number two, I want you to do it within budget. So as you know, we have constraints in the state on budgetary things, and our department has suffered some budget constraints just as community colleges have. But that said, we're still doing the mission. And what is the mission? My mission is to lead the department to ensure that the veterans and their families are cared for, and we serve as advocates for veterans. And that takes place in a number of ways. Our department is a very small department, actually. We have three major divisions, just briefly here. We have three major divisions. We have a homes division. That is, we operate a series of retirement homes for veterans up and down the state in 8 homes, 6 online, 2 under construction. We have a division that's called the home loan division, where we do actually mortgages for veterans. We have our own internal mortgage company and do bank loans for homes for veterans. But the third one, which is Veteran Services, which is our largest, most important division, they're all important, and that is to do the outreach for veterans, on behalf of veterans. And that's the division that connects with you at the community college level and other organizations in the state, our partners such as the Veteran Services organizations, nonprofits, faith-based organizations, schools, colleges. And I'm very fortunate to have a very capable and able Deputy Secretary for Veteran Services, Dr. Trevor Albertson. Trevor, are you here? Where are we here? Dr. Albertson came on board a few months ago and hit the ground running, and he's not stopped. And he's involved with some of you, and he's my point man for community colleges. This organization, and all community college organizations, are, as Dr. Scott indicated, is the first step in terms of the educational process for many veterans. And who are the veterans? A veteran is a former president. A veteran is a former senator. A veteran is a Fortune 500 CEO. A veteran is a doctor, lawyer, pharmacist, teacher. A veteran is a truck driver, a nurse, a single parent mother. A veteran has a lot of faces. A veteran could be a community college professor. A veteran could be a community college bookstore cashier. A veteran could be the person that prepared your Big Mac at McDonald's last week. So veterans have a lot of different faces. And when they return from military service, they become a veteran. And they take on a different role, an additional role. And so we have learned that this era of veterans is a lot different from veterans in the past. After past wars, after World War II, we had the GI Bill that was instituted for veterans. Several community colleges were constructed right after World War II to help veterans in their educational process. And then for a long time, our country really didn't service veterans. We went 30, 40, 50 years and not focusing on veterans. But now we do. Now we honor and recognize the service of our veterans because we know that veterans are patriotic, they're loyal, and they are our future in terms of this country. And veterans shape this country, and we'll shape it in the future. The current GI Bill, the post 9/11 GI Bill, allows veterans to enter educational institutions and help them with their education. The four main areas that veterans need right now, we've done surveys, are jobs, housing, healthcare, and education. And not necessarily in that order. Anyone could be first, anyone could be fourth. But education is paramount to the needs of returning veterans. They let us know that they want to go to school. They want to do something different. And that veteran, that National Guardsman or reservist who was flipping burgers at McDonald's 3 years ago as an 18-year-old, who was mobilized and went to war a couple of times, returned, doesn't want to flip burgers anymore. They want to go to a community college, gain an education, and do something more substantial, like working at Chase Bank and other places. So, you know, we have to focus on the needs of veterans, and education is a primary factor in what veteran needs. What you probably don't know is that in the two wars that were being fought till just recently, now we're down to one, hopefully down to 0 soon. You probably don't know that about 52% of the combat soldiers in those war zones were National Guardsmen and reservists, and not the regular Army and regular Marine Corps. And why is that? That was because that the regular Army and the regular Marine Corps, of course, have a role of fighting America's wars, but the reservists have a role, and that is reinforcing the active components. And so when we talk about a veteran, we talk about a veteran returning home, just know that that veteran is probably not a career military person. They're probably your brother, your sister, your son, your daughter, your neighbor, church member, someone who you were with a couple of years ago, got mobilized for the war, went to Afghanistan, went to Iraq and other places, and returned. As a division commander, I deployed soldiers to Iraq, Afghanistan, Bosnia, Kosovo, the Sinai, Gitmo, and other places. And what was unique about that was that these were all everyday citizens who had a second job as a reservist in the military, chose to serve their country as a reservist, were mobilized and went to war. There are many reservists probably in this room, many veterans in this room, many spouses of veterans in this room. And so all of you know a veteran. And so all I say is that embrace veterans. Embrace what you're doing. Focus on the students on your campuses that are veterans. I had the honor of serving on the foundation board at Cypress College for many years. And I was honored to be there at the dedication of their Veterans Center a couple of years ago. I've been involved with Harbor College, which is my first community college that I was involved in before I went on and matriculated at USC and fight on. Okay, at USC, Harvard, and other places, University of Virginia and others. But I got my start in community colleges, and I received my associate degree at Long Beach City College, which I'm very proud of. And so I know the role that community colleges play, can play, are playing, will play with veterans. And so as you establish your veteran centers on your campuses, as you allow your veterans to form clubs, to associate with each other, just know that they are a fraternity also, a fraternity among themselves. But we don't want to isolate them in a capsule of only veterans, because veterans are part of your campus, they're part of campus life, and they are the leaders of tomorrow. You probably also know that veterans tend to graduate at a higher rate than non-veterans. Veterans tend to not drop classes as frequently as other people. Veterans are trained to be disciplined. Not all veterans, but I'm speaking in generalities now, but veterans have a role to play. I had my challenge at that time. So, in conclusion, let me just say that I applaud what you're doing. I applaud this conference. And I thank Bobby McDonald for his service in the United States Navy in Vietnam. I mean, Bobby is one of my heroes. He's actually a member of my family, ex officio member of my family, because he is very closely allied with my brothers, more so than me. And by the way, I'm from a veteran family. My father was a World War II veteran in Tuskegee Airmen as an enlisted soldier. I have 11 brothers and sisters, 9 brothers, all served in the Army. My 2 sisters, both married veterans. My wife is a retired Army colonel. So, you know, I've got a passion for veterans, so I'm serving family. So with that, I thank you for your time and hope you have a productive and successful conference. Thank you.